Hey, what's up, guys? Somebody here. It's another episode. Kevin Johnson, you are not the guy. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
There was loads of action that happened over this past weekend, but of course we have to speak about the Soweto derby. One of the best Soweto derbies we've had in such a long time. 5 goals. Credit to Orlando Pirates. I gave them their credit. They came from behind twice in the game, and they went on to win it. But Pirates, I give you guys the credit over the weekend, sharp fine, but I came to another conclusion regarding Amakosi for life. Kevin Johnson, the interim coach, he's not the guy. No, he's not. And I've got my reasons for that. What he says in the press conference and interviews versus what you see on the pitch, it doesn't relate. It doesn't look the same. He says Orlando Pirates stole the point. Stole it where? They played better than Kaizer Chiefs. Chiefs did not believe they were going to win that game. I look at Chiefs, right? It's been 6 weeks during the AFCON. And then when they come back to play, I gave them a chance this year. I gave them a chance. But I'm just looking at this team play and I'm thinking, what were you guys working on in the 6 weeks? Is this what you got, Kevin Johnson? This is how you going to try take the Kaizer Chiefs' permanent job, playing in this way? Nah, man, I've been disappointed this year. I really have. And funny enough, I don't think it's because the squad is bad. I just don't think the players believe. And I think they're playing with the handbrake up. So they don't believe at all. And I think it comes from Kevin Johnson in the way that he set them up. We saw it with Mulifenzeki. And even after he left, you're still playing like him. I think he'll either go back to his role that he was appointed, youth development, perhaps that, or he's going to leave because he's definitely not that guy. With that being said, management, Lena, you love hiding behind coaches, man. You really do. And one day, I swear you guys are going to be found out. Reporting news, breaking stories, the Idiski Times journalist Sinethemba Makonco is in the house. I asked him the simple question. Did Kaizer Chiefs really sign Keletso Maghalwa?
Guys, another big guest on Playing the Field with Shakes. This guy says he started this thing out as a hobby, and now he's making a living out of it, being a journalist. Idiski Times journalist Sinethemba, how are you, sir?
Shakes, I'm good. I can't complain. It's been a very hectic few months, especially coming from AFCON, sleeping late at night, window transfer at the same time. It was that time of busy time in football. But look, this is what I like. This is what I live for. I don't see myself doing any other job than this one.
Is it? Oh, you could be a journalist forever. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, look, that's... I've been wanting to be a journalist for quite some time. After leaving my other job, I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do, because I was always following the other journalists. To mention few, I was more following of Lorenz. I was following Abo Putvelile, Abo Putmazol. I was following a lot of journalists because I was like, one day I want to be in that space. And so that's why now I always say, I think I got what I wanted, and I must just appreciate it.
Amazing. So now I want you to break the story from me. The road to journalism. You said it started out as a hobby, and now you're making a living out of it. How did that happen? How did the whole becoming a hobby become a living thing now?
Shakes, when I'll start. It's a very long story, but I'll try to make it
Summarize.
A bit shorter for you. I think just before COVID started, I got retrenched. I was working at the bank, one of the big banks in South Africa. So I was working there as a bank consultant. So I got retrenched, and I was like, okay, I've got nothing to do. Let me just move into... And that time, I started a bit of my YouTube interviews. So I had a few connections there and there with players, but it was difficult to get those big players. So I was preferring more to do NFT players and ABC players. So the late Anele Ngonga, Mark Mayambela gave me a platform, and they said, "No, look, you can interview us. I don't have a problem." So I shared with my first big interview was with Mark Mayambela. So at that time, I think he was still playing NFT. So I did his interview, and I was shaking because I was like, "No, it is my first time meeting a professional player like the one I've been watching on TV." So that was my first biggest interview I've ever done. So after that, they were flowing, they were coming in, a lot of them. To appreciate the late Anele Ngonga played a big role in my career. That's why I say I'll forever be grateful. So this thing of breaking stories for shakes, it came when I started to make contacts, and you'd be shocked that my contacts were more of abo groundsmen, abo kitmen, not anyone in the office. Not anyone in the office, groundsmen, abo kitmen. A lot of people that are not, I always say they are not appreciated in the game. So those are the people that I'm close with. So that's when I said, okay. So these guys, they were like telling me stories like, oh, someone just came here. This player just rocked in here and he's training with us. Okay. Then I started to say, okay, now let me just tweet about it. I'm just tweeting it. So I'll tweet. And I started to say, okay, now I think I'm getting more connections because each and every game, if there's a game in Cape Town, remember, I don't have accreditation. If there's a game in Cape Town, I would want to meet either a Free State Stars kit manager, a Free State Stars analyst, or someone there. So I would speak with them and say, okay, they would say, okay, now it's fine, I can have my contact. So that's how I got into the game. So when I got into the game and I started to move and said, okay, I think now I'm starting to get what I wanted, which is to be more connected, to be more friendly with all these people.
No, you've come far, man. Yeah. I mean, you've come far. I remember seeing your account for the first time a couple of years ago, and the fact that you've kept on going, which is great. And you talk about breaking stories, and I'm wondering if this is the same way you got this story, which created a massive havoc on social media. Kanya Leshabe, I mean, he's come back from Leicester. He's now part of Cape Town City. And obviously, we saw the clips of him at this airport because of you. I wanted to get your thoughts about this move because I asked this question because I'm thinking, someone as a football fan, Kanya was making his Premier League debut 2 years ago. Now he's playing in the PSL, and you're just like, wow, I thought that was the best league in the world. How did he get here? What do you think of that move?
Prasheks, I always say it's good for our players to move abroad, but if they're not going to play there, what's the use of moving there? Leshabe is one of the good players that we have. If you look, when he made his debut, and I was happy for him, and I was hoping that he's going to keep into that level and he's gonna help us in Bafana. So when I started to see that, okay, now he's being loaned out and it's starting to happen regularly, and now he's moving to lower leagues. And I saw that now he's not going to play. So the move to Cape Town City actually came at the right time because also Cape Town City is on the right track now. He's not under pressure. He's going to get there and show what he's capable of. Look, the move, the specific move, when I heard about it, it was late last year that he might come back to South Africa. And I was like, okay, which club maybe he would come to? And my sources were telling me it's Cape Town City. And I said, okay. I was expecting him in December already, but it didn't happen that time. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. But closer, when the window transfer was about to close, and I heard that someone told me that he's currently flying into he'll be flying into South Africa. And I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. Is he coming to Cape Town City? And they said, yes, he's coming to Cape Town City. And apparently there are other clubs that were looking at him, but they were only looking to get him at the end of the season. So that's why Cape Town City to speed the process and get him now, because they had to be in advanced stage of taking him. Also, this move, I think it's going to help him a lot. It's going to help him a lot. Also, he wants to play for Bafana. And you can't play for Bafana if you're not playing in your team. Especially that we don't see you on TV because we don't watch him. And I think what happened now in the AFCON Open gave a lot of players some ideas that even if you play in PSL, you can still play for Bafana and play a big role in their success. Because remember, the 80% of Bafana squad was South African-based players. That says a lot, actually, about our league. So now, people mustn't be shocked when our players come back and play into this league. This league is one of the best leagues. We mustn't undermine it, let alone the competition and all that stuff. But we've got the best league. That has been proven in the AFCON.
I see. No, you're right. And I hear you with regarding that point, King. So I will say this. I really hope that he does have a great time here, and you can see he's already playing for Cape Town too, which is great to see. And hopefully he gets to his best and contributes to Bafana. But that was not the only story you broke. But this one, you broke it, and then one person was lying, or Sinethemba was lying. We don't know. Keloso Magalwa, my man. Is he going to Chiefs or not? Because according to Uppington City, he's not. But according to Sinethemba, he is.
Look, Prashex, such stories, I always say, let's wait for the time, because it is not the first time this thing is happening. If you remember quite well, there's a story, I'm trying to think now, Sinethemba to Chiefs. I did that story. Actually, it was a tweet when Sinethemba, I said, signed a pre-contract to Chiefs, and everybody said, now you're lying and all that stuff. And, one thing that always hurts me is that when the story the transfer happens, nobody comes back and say, no, I want to apologize. Instead, everybody goes there and deletes their comments and remove all their tweets. So when someone told me that actually Chiefs agreed, wanted him in Jan to say he must come to Chiefs in January, and Appleton City said, can you wait for him at least to finish the season with us, because we want to compete in the NFT. So that's the part that I got. And I said, there's been an agreement that the Chiefs they're gonna wait for him. For me, this once again proves that's why I'm saying now, let's wait again. I don't mind if the transfer doesn't happen, I'll come back and apologize. Or else I don't even owe anyone an apology, because nobody has ever come back to me and say, we apologize to you, Makonco, for calling you names after this. So that's why I always say, let's wait for it. And now to tell you the other one, you remember the Spello balloon story to Pirates? I did that one.
Yeah.
And people call names that I'm lying, I'm signing players on social media. And when the story happened and everybody kept quiet, everybody was happy that he signed for Pirates. Nobody came back and said, Makonco, hey, we apologize to you. So I'm used to this now. Actually, it makes me even more stronger, because I get emotional sometimes about it, but I always tell myself they have got their own reasons of doing this thing. I don't know their reasons, and one day I would love to hear their reason. Why are they doing this? But I just hope one day they will find a place in their hearts and come back and say, no, we're doing this because of this and this, because I've never got any explanation. But
you're referring to, Sinethemba, you're referring to people in the industry that are doing this to you.
Actually, it's people that I think they've got more power than me, like people in the industry. I don't worry more about football fans. Football fans, they are there to talk. I don't mind about them. I'm where I am now because of them. So now it's emotional and touching when someone who is supposed to look after you as a young journalist comes out on social media. And it's when you start to realize that, you know what, people, not everybody have the same heart as you.
Now, is there any chance this transfer doesn't happen? Because if it doesn't, of course, the more names will come out. So in your mind, if I was to ask you on a percentage basis, how confident are you that Kaizer will be a Kaizer Chiefs player next season?
The part that there's been an agreement,
okay,
means chances are 80% he'll go to Chiefs, because there's been an agreement that only at the end of the season.
Now, and also nothing as well, we're not leaving Chiefs just as yet. Next season, I want you to tell me, is Kevin Johnson going to be Kaizer Chiefs coach next season, according to you? What do you think?
For me, I don't think so, Brashix. I don't think so. There's a lot of factors that where I'm looking at. First of all, the way Chiefs is playing now, I don't think they will take that risk and let him take the full season. Yeah. Remember, he took, if I'm not mistaken, he took just around December. He took over Chiefs just after Molefinseki left. So he had a lot of time to work on the team, to do what he wants to do, to change the philosophy to what he prefers. But according to what I've seen now, Chiefs has taken 5 steps back. For me, I really don't think now he's going to take over as a head coach in the new season.
Now the funny part is that we're in March at this moment. The international break is going to be coming up really soon, and that would mean it's the final stretch of the season. It's almost over, this football campaign. This transfer window that's coming, man. I mean, how big is it going to be in your mind? What do you think?
This coming window transfer is going to be big, especially for teams like Chiefs. Not quite for Pirates, especially in Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch is one of the teams that are coming up now, and I'm telling you now, people are going to be shocked. Stellenbosch are going to make big signings. They're going to sign players. They're going to compete next season, especially if they qualify for CAF Champions League. They're going to change all of the things. Also, if they qualify for CAF Confederations Cup, because they still have a chance, they're sitting number 4. It's going to be a big window transfer. There's a lot of things that we can look at. Also, if you look at Spurs, if Spurs survive relegation, people are going to be shocked. Spurs, they're going to sign players. They're going to sign quality players. I already had a talk with their owners and to find out what exactly they're planning. They said, okay, now we've learned our lesson. We've seen exactly what happened. But come next season, if we survive, we're definitely going to make sure that we get quality players in time to help these youngsters that we have in the club to make sure that we fight for at least the top 8 now, because we cannot be fighting a relegation. So I'm saying now it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big window transfer.
I look forward to it, man. I really look forward to it. The final question that I have for you, man, and this one I asked to all my guests, it can be any answer that you would like. Where is South African football for you right now, Sinethemba?
This question is quite difficult, Prashix. But if you look, it's quite difficult because there's a big gap in our football if you look at Sunderland and other teams. But for what I saw in the African continent, we're moving to the right direction. If you can face Morocco and be brave the way we're brave, and still face Nigeria the way we played, I'm definitely sure. I'm where now. I'm proud of South Africa and can even go out and say I'm a South African. I don't want us to be blinded by what happened in the AFCON. We still need, there's a lot of things that we need to do. And we did cut corners, and fortunately enough, we survived in the AFCON, but we need to get our under 23, we need to get our under 17s up and running, because we cannot be doing it like this now. We need to get all those divisions in order and make sure that we compete proper in football. Because if you look at teams like countries like Mali, Nigeria, they start competing in the under 17s. They go play World Cups. If you can ask me now, it's difficult to tell you who's the coach of under 17. It's difficult to tell you who's the coach of under 20. It's difficult to tell you who's the coach of under 23. So we need to get all those things right first. So if you get those things right, I really think we've got a good team. There's DDC teams we have, and we see quality there. Take those boys, use them under 17, get them. We've got a lot of youngsters, Brashits. We need to get our house right. Then if you do that, I really think for the potential of even becoming one of the best nations in the African continent.
Sinethemba, I really enjoyed this. I really did. And it's a pleasure to have a conversation with you, and the football passion that you have, man. I want you to keep going. There's a realness and genuineness that you have, man. I don't want you to ever lose that. I want you to have that forever. And just know that we appreciate having people like you in South African football as well. I appreciate this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prashix. I really appreciate thanks to you and thanks to the listeners of the show. I really enjoyed it. it's always nice to get platforms, such platforms to so that people can know exactly what we go through and what's happening behind the scenes and all that stuff. I really appreciate it. On working Krokman.
Keep well, brother.
Who was up to par and who became our star, but also who fell short in this game we all love? Let's find out on Moegoe of the Week. The star of this week featured in Orlando Pirates' team, the guy in the midfield, Patrick Maswangani. A marvel to watch. That pass to Saleng for the third goal, absolutely disgusting. What are you doing? That's the star of the week. The Moegoe. Now, guys, if you take the lead twice in a game, right, and you still end up losing the game, there's some responsibility you must take for losing that game. And let's be honest, there's some Moegoe-ness that goes into losing a game where you took the lead twice. Ladies and gentlemen, Kaizer Chiefs again is the Moegoe of the Week. It's time for Bet of the Week. Get ready to win big by placing the right bets on the right games. European football is back this week, and that is on the bet slip. UEFA Champions League, Arsenal going up against Porto, Arsenal straight win and over 1.5. Barcelona against Napoli, over 1.5. Atletico Madrid against Inter, both teams to score. Dortmund going up against PSV, I've gone Dortmund or draw and over 1.5 goals. Leverkusen against Karabakh, I've gone with Leverkusen straight win. Liverpool versus Sparta Prague, I've gone Liverpool straight win and over 1.5 with just 6 games. The odds are 8.02. 8 times the money back. If you want to win with me, click on the link below. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. We've come to the end of the show. Guys, it's time for the Tshwane Derby. Mamelodi Sundowns against SuperSport United. I gotta go. But before I do go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.